Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you're watching and listening. I'm Dan Turchin, the CEO of PeopleReign, and I'm excited to bring you today's lightning demo of the PeopleReign platform. PeopleReign, as you know, is the SaaS platform that automates IT and HR service delivery for employees at large enterprises. It's the smartest system for reducing call volume, improving customer satisfaction, reducing overall cost per ticket, improving self-service adoption. And we're pretty confident that this is the future of work. At PeopleReign, we're committed to having a meaningful impact on 1 billion lives. And we think we're well on our way. And I think over the next few minutes, you're going to get a sense of what's so special about using the principles of AI and machine learning to deliver a better employee experience. The PeopleReign system of intelligence has 4 applications built on one common underlying platform. There's a virtual agent. As you'll see, it speaks 27 languages. It's been trained to answer about 5 million common work questions. But when the virtual agent isn't sufficient for whatever reason, it falls back on 2 applications, one called Classify and one called Recommend, to make the live agent smarter. And then, like you're seeing here in the foreground, there is a 4th application built on the PeopleReign stack, and that's called Insights. And Insights is a predictive analytics dashboard that shows you what's trending across all of your employees globally, and more important, what you can do proactively to remediate issues that might impact employees before they've even happened. So 4 applications, 1 AI platform, and let's have some fun. So I'm going to first introduce you to the first of the 4 applications, the virtual agent. And for today's session, I'm going to show you 2 interfaces. It is available in 6 different interfaces. It's an omni-channel experience. 2 of them are Slack and a web portal. In this case, for today, I'll show you it in living in a ServiceNow service portal as a widget. But the virtual agent is also available email first, SMS as a voice channel. You can call it and speak to it. Any channel where your users are going to traditionally go to get their support, they can now speak to or interact with the PeopleReign virtual agent. So let's see, let's have some fun with the PeopleReign virtual agent, starting with Slack. So let's say maybe a typical employee question around this time of year. Let's say I want to know, when do I get the next day off? And now the nice thing about asking an intelligent virtual agent a question like this is it's going to look at who I am, where I'm asking the question from, whether or not I'm a contractor or a full-time employee, and based on that, figure out exactly for me, my geography, based on my role, what's my next day off. In this case, looks like I get Veterans Day off in a couple of weeks. So that was easy. That's a good experience. It's certainly easier than calling the help desk and being treated like a ticket, or my HR business partner or something like that. Moving on, so this speaks the language of business. So in that case, that's probably kind of an an HR issue, but maybe I want to ask it something more related to IT. Let's see, I can no longer print. I'm back to the office. I actually have a printer now. And unfortunately, it's not working. So again, this is what a virtual agent that's really intelligent is going to do. It's going to figure out who I am, where I'm trying to print from, and actually confirm there is an issue with your printer, the Dell one that is nearest to your desk. Which of the following most closely describes your problem? In my case, you know what, nothing's printing, frustratingly. So I'm going to tell it that, and it comes back with a logical set of ways to resolve it, shutting down and restarting the computer and printer. Yep, tried it, worked. Great, I give it some feedback. That feedback is going to then make the virtual agent smarter. So other people that have similar issues with their Dell printers now are going to benefit from me having trained the model. I give it some feedback. I tell it that was helpful. Now, in some cases, I don't know what to ask, but the nice thing about an intelligent virtual agent is it knows what's trending. So if I just say something like, what can you do? Again, all using natural language. I don't need to, pick from a menu. This is not a robot. This is a very human-like experience. But the nice thing is if the virtual agent's ever not confident in its answer, it'll fall back and bring a live agent online. And then, as I'll show you in a minute, it will make the live agent smarter by going and making recommendations to the live agent to help resolve my issue faster. The other thing that the virtual agent's really good at doing is knowing what it doesn't know. So in this case, it directly said, or correctly interpreted my question. It said, you know what, here's a list of common things that people ask about: a blue screen of death, adding an email account, 401k limits, etc. So I can go ahead and pick one of those. But even if I treat the virtual agent in a way that involves a question that it was never trained to answer, I'm still going to get a meaningful answer. It should detect that I'm asking a question it doesn't know the answer to, and then at least continue the dialogue with me by maybe suggesting things I might want to be answered by the virtual agent. So for example, maybe it's almost lunchtime where you are, so I'm going to say, where's the best pizza in Chicago? Now, presumably not of the 5 million questions that the virtual agent has been trained to answer, that's not one of them. So it correctly says, you know what, I'm not trained to do that, but here's a list of common things that people ask me, and at least then there's no gibberish. It's a nice fluid experience. Let's see, another common topic as I'm going back to the office, maybe I want to know, I have a new pet, a pandemic pet, and I want to know if I can bring it to the office. So this is just kind of a random walk down a set of common issues that might occur for employees. In that case, that's not my FIDO, but it's someone's FIDO. And effective as of July, when the office reopened, all pets other than guide animals are not allowed. So good answer. I'm gonna go ahead and say that was helpful. Now, just to continue the demo, I said I'd show you two different interfaces. The nice thing is this is voice first, it's chat first, it's email first, whatever the preferred channel is in your environment. And in this case, I'm going to cut over and I'll show you a comparable version. This is just a standard web interface. This web widget happens to be embedded in a ServiceNow service portal. And I'm going to go ahead and ask it the same question, only this time I'm going to ask it in Spanish. So I just asked the virtual agent in Slack, can I bring my pet to the office? In this case, my Spanish isn't great, but puedo llevar a mi mascota a la oficina. And let's see if it recognizes that. If it does, it should detect that the native language of the speaker is no longer English, which it was flagged as, using that flag, the American flag. But if it detects that my language changed, then it should pick up the change and then go ahead and find the appropriate snippet or answer in PeopleReign parlance. And the nice thing about that translation capability is that even though the underlying content, as you just saw, was actually authored in English, when the native speaker is speaking Spanish, instead, we see that underlying content, which we have no native Spanish or Korean or Japanese or Turkish speakers, but I can interact with the virtual agent in any of 27 languages. Para proteger la salud de todos, a partir del 1 de julio. Based on my limited Spanish, that's an accurate translation. And that's the same snippet, same answer, different interface, different language. So pretty good interaction. Let's see, another typical issue I might have is the old password reset. So let's see what an intelligent experience, not involving a ticket, not involving me being treated like a ticket number by the help desk. But if I just come in and I say, I need to reset my password. And now you'll see I'm switching back from Spanish back to English. So it should detect the language changed and go ahead and search for, in this case, it correctly detected English and it retranslated everything back into English. Looks like your password needs to be reset. Now, this is a pretty smart integration. It says, you got a number of passwords. Which one do you want to reset? I'm going to go ahead and say, I'm locked out of SSO. So it's going to go ahead and say, okay, for your workflow, what needs to happen to reset your SSO password? And in this case, it did it for me. This is like the best experience resetting a password ever. I've just sent an email to you. Let's see. I'm going to pull that up. I can confirm. I don't know if you can see that's my real phone with a real email from Okta. We actually do use Okta to do SSO password management. Pretty darn good experience. I'm going to go ahead and say that worked pretty well. And then one of the other nice things is It's going to detect greetings and closings. So we advise don't anthropomorphize the bot. Don't make anyone pretend. Don't make anyone think that it's a human. But it's going to get pretty good at knowing when you're greeting it and when you're closing a session. So in this case, I'm just going to say, yep, that's kind of what I needed. I'm going to sign off for now. And it'll detect that I was in fact closing the session. It's my pleasure. Join us this Friday. So you can add kind of a carousel of messages that you might want to share with employees. Obviously, you can brand this. This is your PeopleReign virtual agent. So your company logo, you might want to give the bot a name. Just don't make it pretend to be a human, but you can certainly brand it as you choose. I'll show you, I can also sign off in other languages. Let's say just for kicks. My French is much worse than my Spanish, but I do know merci. So I'll tell it, thanks for your help. And again, it should be able to take that snippet, that reaction, detect that I was closing my session, but detect that now I'm speaking another language. And the nice thing is now every employee globally is treated like a first-class citizen. And this virtual agent, not only does it speak 27 languages and come pre-configured to answer about 5 million questions, but the other nice thing is it never takes a break. So 24/7, every one of your employees globally now feels like their time is respected, they're valued as a team member. It's going to reduce attrition. It's just a great experience dealing with the typical things that come up in the course of an ordinary day as an employee. And when we say at PeopleReign that we're here to give you back about an hour a day a week to be a better employee, person, spouse, parent, pursue a hobby, this is what we mean. When you take all the friction out of work and instead you insert delightful experiences and let you get back to what you love doing more and spend less time on hold with the help desk, we think that's the future of work. And to wrap up the demo, I thought I'd show you an interface. If at any point the virtual agent's insufficient, I may want to ask for a live agent to come online. And if I do that, this is actually now the ITIL user view. This is actually a ServiceNow incident, kind of continuing that interaction I just had. And in this case, you'll see there are 3 applications embedded in this ticket from PeopleReign. So this goes from being kind of a traditional or a dumb ticket into being a smart ticket. So up here, PeopleReign is automatically extracted from its domain ontology a set of concepts associated with this ticket. Let's see, the user described it as, my MacBook needs to be upgraded to the latest version of McAfee antivirus. And PeopleReign correctly detects that that's related to a piece of hardware called the MacBook and a piece of software from a vendor called McAfee. And it's a type of software called antivirus, and the action that needs to be taken is a software upgrade. So whether it's for reporting or routing, we can now quickly understand what the nature of this ticket is. So as a live agent, if I get this and I'm now pulled into a virtual agent conversation in real time, all of a sudden I know exactly what to do next. PeopleReign Classify, you see here, will set the value of any field in any form out of the box or custom, and it'll monitor certain fields. In this case, PeopleReign is monitoring the category field and the assignment group field. You see it's badged. You see with a certain confidence level, it'll tell me what the right value should be. In this case, the assignment group, let's see, it's set to App Engine. The assignment group should actually be the service desk. I go ahead and set it. Now PeopleReign agrees. The third application you see here from PeopleReign is called Recommend. And Recommend shows the live agent the set of next best actions to take. So even the most novice live agent in a call center can now perform like an expert. So fewer escalations, you improve your FCR or your first call resolution rate. And of course, what's most important for the employee, you reduce your overall time to resolve the ticket, because now this live agent, whether or not they're familiar with MacBooks and McAfee, now is being told, here's what to do, how to prepare for a macOS update with McAfee antivirus. And I can go ahead and pop open the modal from PeopleReign and it shows me exactly how to fix the issue. That's a pretty great experience. Without having to do any research, I've now just become an expert and I can just go ahead and deliver the solution end to end for the employee at the moment of truth when they have a question or a problem. It shows me a confidence level. I can go ahead and when I realize that's the right answer, click the digital pin from PeopleReign and that persists that as an answer to questions like this. So PeopleReign is always going to get smarter continuously. unlike even the smartest live agent, PeopleReign is going to benefit from all the training it's getting. And it's kind of like what would happen if you could take everything that every live agent on the planet has ever learned and put it in one digital brain. You'd get PeopleReign. The other nice thing is that unlike alternatives, only PeopleReign spans the life cycle of service requests, and it spans systems of record. So what you've probably noticed is that this is bringing in information from all kinds of systems. SharePoint for knowledge content, and some of that information that I showed you about holidays was getting pulled in from an HCM or a human capital management system, in this case, Workday. And there was an integration with Okta for single sign-on. So an intelligent experience spans systems of action and systems of record. Now, this interface is available in all of the modern ServiceNow releases. In this case, I'll show you the same interface, the same PeopleReign recommend application, only here you see it on the right side, embedded in the service operations workspace that was new to the ServiceNow San Diego release. So PeopleReign recommend, PeopleReign classify, everything's available. We maintain a very tight integration with ServiceNow. You'll find in a lot of ways the integrations that PeopleReign has done to embed intelligence into applications like incident management, change management, the CMDB, obviously ITGRC, things like that are actually more robust and more comprehensive with better AI than what you get with some of the native integrations from ServiceNow, something we're very proud of. Lastly, where the real magic happens is predictive analytics. I showed you this up at the front. So PeopleReign Insights shows you what people are talking about. And more importantly, it delivers a steady drip of actionable insight so that you know not just what's been happening, but what action you can do to deliver a better employee experience. So in this case, I see a dashboard, and it is related to the virtual agent. You see in the past 24 hours, this virtual agent has had 3,500 plus conversations. It's deflected more than 2,300 calls or tickets. It created 1,270 tickets and routed them through Classify and provided recommendations through Recommend, and that's across about 299 or about 200 unique end users. This shows a summary of all the work that PeopleReign has been doing, who my top talkers are, what the most recommended actions are, what's been least recommended. And so this gives me a sense of what content I can author. I'll show you another view of this. I have an utterances report in my workbench, and what that will show me is everything that all of my employees globally have been asking, in which language. Almost all the time, you'll see that PeopleReign picks the right snippet or the best answer. These are the things I was actually just asking it. Puedo llevar mi mascota a la oficina. It correctly identified the language and the answer. But if in any case like this one, where, obviously this wasn't a question it could answer, it correctly says, I couldn't find a snippet, but I can always go and click on that. If it was a question that it should have answered, and I can pick the best answer. So this gives me real-time visibility into all the conversations that are happening. And then again, I can go into my insights dashboard and see how the models are performing across all of the work that PeopleReign's been doing. And most important, when I wrap that layer of intelligence horizontally around the service lifecycle and proactively resolve issues related to IT and HR for my global employee base, what I'm telling my employees is that they're important. Their time is valuable. We respect them. We want them to spend more time doing more of what they love and less time being treated like a robot or like a ticket. And we firmly believe that this approach to using a system of intelligence to automate the life cycle of employee service requests truly delivers on all of our shared vision for the future of work. So help us make your employees better. Please take PeopleReign for a test drive. It's available for free. Go to peoplereign.io. Again, I'm Dan Turchin, CEO of PeopleReign. Proud to be sharing a few minutes of your time today talking about our vision for the future of work. Thank you.